I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Board of Commissioners moves to approve the May 26th regular meeting minutes.
Second, roll call. Tony?
Yes.
Vicky? Yes. Sabrina? Yes.
Janet?
Hello. How are you?
How are you guys?
Great.
Good. Okay. Is there anything you wanted to comment regarding the journal entries? I know we pulled the discussion for today.
Yeah, the discussion item will be back on next week.
Yes.
We were just tweaking the language around, giving you a new version.
10 different versions. Perfect.
Decided to just pull it to be safe and then come back next week. But no, the journal entries are standard.
Okay. In accordance with section 305.30 of the Ohio Revised Code, the Board of Resolution 21-0396, Part 9I, Board of Commissioners acknowledges and approves the county administrator to approve the job description and creation of non-bargaining position, Deputy Director for Portage County Internal Services.
Second,
Roll call?
Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to approve the transfer of Paul Brandon, from Water Treatment Operator 2 to Water Treatment Facilities Mechanic, Portage County Water Resources, effective May 30th, 2022.
Second,
Roll call?
Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to authorize the hire of Melissa Ruiz, Social Worker 2, new position, Portage County Jobs and Family Services. Tentative start date is June 6th, 2022. The Board of Commissioners agrees that this hire is contingent about the applicant passing the required pre-employment screening.
Second,
Roll call?
Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to authorize the hire of Christina Smith, Social Worker 3, replacing Brianna Moore, Portage County Jobs and Family Services. Tentative start date is June 6, 2022. The Board of Commissioners is agreed the hire is contingent upon the applicant passing required pre-employment screening.
Second,
Roll call?
Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board of Commissioners moves to authorize the hire of Zesman A, Social Worker 3, replacing Draka Hicks, Portage County Jobs and Family Services. Tentative start date is June 6, 2022. The Board of Commissioners agrees that this hire to contingent upon passing the required pre-employment screening.
Second,
Roll call?
Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
The board moves to authorize the hire of Ashley Siglo, eligibility specialist, replacing Erica Smith, Portage County Jobs and Family Services. Tentative start date is June 8, 2022. The Board of Commissioners agrees that this hire is contingent upon the applicant passing required pre-employment screening.
Second,
Roll call?
Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to authorize the hire of Michael Walco, eligibility specialist, replacing Ariel Randolph, Portage County Jobs and Family Services. Tentative start date is June 8th, 2022. The Board of Commissioners agrees that the hire is contingent upon the applicant passing the required pre-employment screening.
Second,
Roll call?
Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to authorize the hire of Kylie Wade, Jobs and Child Support Specialist, replacing Shannon Kitchen, Portage County Jobs and Family Services. Tentative start date is June 6, 2022. The Board of Commissioners agrees that this hire is contingent upon the applicant passing the required pre-employment screening.
Second,
Roll call?
Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to authorize the hire of Alex Santiago, Clerical Specialist 4, returning to his previous position, Portage County Department of Jobs and Family Services. Tentative start date is May 31st, 2022.
Second,
Roll call?
Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to accept the resignation of Melissa Boyd, PCSA Administrative Assistant, Portage County Jobs and Family Services, effective May 27, 2022.
Second,
Roll call?
Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to authorize the internal external posting of non-bargaining position for PCSA Administrative Assistant vacated by Melissa Boyd, Portage County Jobs and Family Services.
Second,
Roll call? Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board of Commissioners moves to accept the resignation of Tanya Duncan Liddick, PCSA Supervisor, Portage County Job and Family Services, effective June 10th, 2022.
Second.
Roll call?
Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to authorize internal external posting for non-bargaining position, PCSA Supervisor, vacated by Tanya Duncan Liddick, Portage County Jobs and Family Services.
Second.
Roll call?
Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Board moves to approve the anniversary probation step increase for the following non-bargaining employees. Joe Harris, Budget and Financial Director, effective May 30th, 2022.
Second.
Roll call?
So you read them all?
You can read them.
You read them all? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Joanne Townsend, Internal Service Director, effective May 30th, 2022. Kami Smith, JFS Fiscal Eligibility Specialist, effective May 30th, 2022. Alex MacArthur, JFS Supervisor, effective June 13th, 2022. Rudy Reddick, Job and Family Services Accountant, effective May 13th, 2022. Kelly Swigert, Jobs and Family Services Program Manager, Group Homes, effective June 13th, 2022. Jackie Bootcamp, Jobs and Family Services Legal Specialist, effective June 27th, 2022. Deb Hogan, Jobs and Family Services Program Manager, Staff Development, effective June 27th, 2022.
Second.
Roll call?
Tony?
Yes,
Vicky? Sabrina?
Yes.
good to see you this morning.
Thanks, Janet.
Thank you.
Thanks, Janet. Hi, Alice.
Yeah, what's that? Good morning. Yeah, what's it tomorrow?
Yes,
Thank
you know what? It's so funny. They had to go and search my phone. Oh my God. Perfect.
Yeah, I can hear me speaking.
Is it,
We've got feedback.
because like on the bottom right, it looks like the speaker might be on, like on your computer itself, but I don't know why.
I was like, is somebody in the home? Like,
That's what I thought I could
It's the
an
feedback.
echo or something. You.
Yes.
Speaker's on.
Say again?
The speaker's on the TV,
Oh,
and this speaker's off too. Peter IR?
yes.
You're mute or turn on
Okay, there's a.
Well, in the meantime, I'll hand out all my paper.
Cool.
I just got 2 today. I don't have to give you 17. You have copies of these.
There's still echo on
Yeah, there's still a cup. Is it?
Is there? Yep. Yep. Uh-huh. Still, there's still,
something got unplugged.
or how about this right here?
Oh, boy.
They got unplugged.
You want me to move
This
this
thing is
chair?
beeping this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that. Move all out there. Maybe it was on. I don't know. Hello? That was more or less.
Is that better?
I think.
I didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
There's a
Because it was
speaker.
beeping this morning.
That's why.
There's
Oh,
a
on
speaker
the-
not going on. That's
Getting, yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
cool. There you go.
17 speakers in this room.
Technology.
Okay.
And then it was.
So I have an update since we discussed that I'll bring the ARPA requests every quarter, but updates monthly.
Okay.
So go over the. Oh, I want this one. Yeah, okay, sorry. The approved ARPA funds use sheet that has the longer list. This is everything that we have discussed and you guys have approved, and the total right now is 19.6 million,
Wow.
just to put that into perspective.
Doesn't take long to hack away at that 31.
You know, it really doesn't.
I was just gonna say, okay.
Yes. So then the list of potential projects that I'm bringing are things that we have discussed previously. And a lot of good news on this front. We were talking with Bricker and realized that the Emergency Operations Center is fully ARPA approved, every dollar,
Good.
which
Wow.
is huge.
That is huge.
Yes,
Yep.
and the Marks Towers, consolettes for dispatch to be able to expand everything and move dispatch into where the old EOC
Mhm.
area will be. That's approved.
Good.
So, I mean, that would be huge for EMA and the sheriff's office as well. So I would recommend approving those.
So you do have Bricker, our legal has said, hey,
Yeah.
these things are
Yes.
available for us.
Yes.
We have
We can do
the
this.
green light.
Awesome.
Yeah, which is super exciting.
Yeah.
And then with that, there are a couple others on this list, the broadband. I know Ryan had recommended that we go with the Spectrum non-supplanting that RDOF money. And I did have a conversation with the FCC, and Spectrum is not allowed to supplant that money anyway. So the idea of us being able to pay them upfront to be able
It's
to expedite
not-
that, we can't do that. It's against their contract.
Good.
So that at least gives us a clear answer there. And then with the fixed wireless, it's really difficult to be able to have the RDOF money coming from the FCC because that's federal money going into the county. And then the fixed wireless, if we pay for that with ARPA, that's also federal money. And that would be internet on top of internet. So that's federal money on top of federal money, which is obviously a big no-no. So the best option, in Ryan's opinion and in my opinion, is going with that 1.1 million to be able to have Spectrum install everything aside from what they're already going to be doing with the FCC money. So is that something that you guys are in agreement with?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So if I total the two sheets,
We're
that takes us to $29,307,845.
Yeah.
So that leaves us roughly,
One quarter.
Yeah, it's a little over two.
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 Yeah, we have 31.55.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
You know, the cool thing is we're going to accomplish things that would taken us decades to be able to
Yes.
do. In this 2 or 3 years because of that. I know that number's kind of mind boggling me too, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And here's the good news, we won't be paying for the debt, our grandchildren and children.
Wow.
Let's keep bumping up that national debt, but that's for another conversation. But yes.
But yeah,
this is
and I
great.
mean, all things that they're gonna help the county internally, but
For
by,
decades.
yes, and then it's gonna help the public of Portage County because they're gonna have proper emergency response.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I'm most impressed with what we can do for water resources. 'Cause
Yes.
It seems like we got a lot of projects, which originally that's what the funding was for, was the infrastructure.
Yeah,
Expand water, sewer, improve those, so. And between that and all the grant money that's out there, and you've been very successful at applying for grants, which we truly appreciate.
oh, yeah. All money is good money for.
You are the
grant
best,
stuff.
you are the best spent money right now in the
Well,
county.
thanks. So you guys are in agreement with everything on the potential projects list?
Yeah.
All good?
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. All right.
And I see we put DocuSign on there. Michelle, do you want to, I don't know if Vicky and Tony's familiar with DocuSign?
Oh, absolutely. I use it every day.
Yes, yeah, I do too. Tony, do you don't?
I don't use it, but
No.
I use it occasionally.
So
At the office.
the premise behind getting the DocuSign is to avoid face-to-face contact, right? And that's where our COVID mitigation would come into place. But also to increase efficiency throughout the county,
Yes.
right? Because these can go internet now, right? So they can be emailed out to those that need it, and anyone at any time can go in and sign it, as opposed to waiting for the commissioners that come in on Thursdays to sign it, right? Not that you only come in on Thursday, I'm just
Well,
saying,
you know,
it's
funny,
much easier on the
a time
computer.
thing.
That's
The federal government and a lot of the grants now are using like electronic signature.
Yeah.
Actually,
They
I
are.
think I sent you guys and Amy a copy of a grant I signed this week and it's all electronic.
So I'm just trying to bring the county into. the
I was just gonna ask that,
21st
are
century.
some of the people that were against this in the county starting to realize that everybody does it except us?
This is the way of the future.
I think they're coming around, right? They're coming around.
Realtors have been doing it. for
And we
years.
have a good team. We're gonna work that out.
We've been doing it for years too. Takes government a little longer, a little slower. All
We-
right.
We had talked about contract. Where's that? A module through Munis, it's not
Yes.
helpful.
Oh.
It really is not going to achieve what we needed to achieve. but
Is that the
DocuSign will.
the following through with everything?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Docu-
here? What words?
So the DocuSign is at the bottom.
Oh,
We had talked about contract management software.
So that it
Through
was the
Munis.
same way.
Mhm.
And I just had a webinar this week, and it's really not conducive to our setup.
Oh,
I think DocuSign will achieve what we need,
okay.
much more cost effective
Oh,
and easier for the,
More efficient.
users. Yeah,
To move it through.
that's right.
And
This
then
is
will
really all we need.
DocuSign come in, or do they have training modules for staffing once this comes into place? Because I can imagine there may be challenges.
You know, I don't
Across the
think so,
workforce.
Sarah. As you know, you use it, there's just,
Vicky, I use it, but that doesn't mean it'll be easier
So,
for some of our
Even
workforce.
I,
Yeah,
who only use it occasionally, was relatively
I'm
easy.
thinking like auditor's office, places like that,
Yeah.
that,
So we will have to establish procedures anyway, right?
Yeah.
Because when it's mainly the idea for this was contracts. So when internal services would receive a contract, they would also have to establish a resolution, and each step would go to different stakeholders, right? So yes, we would have to establish a procedure. That's right. They would tell them, okay, first step is internal services. Next step is the auditor, so they can sign off on the appropriation. Third step is going to be prosecutors, and then it's going to circle back.
yeah. And that's what I'm saying, because, you know, we tend to have a mature workforce that some of this technology may need some training.
I
for,
resemble
so-
that.
What? I said mature.
That's what I said, I resemble that.
Yes. Oh, okay. I thought you said you resent that. I was
No,
like,
I resemble that.
but
mature.
yeah, I mean,
You're
I
right.
will make
It's
sure,
easier,
correct.
but
Yeah, absolutely.
training.
Yep.
just want to make
And-
sure.
I got Allison and Joe. They do a well job of training me. So, yeah,
We do what we can.
yeah, I appreciate
What
it.
they have to work with.
There you go.
All right. so
Anything
that's
else?
The whole of my discussion, and then I have
Resolution.
one resolution to amend.
Okay.
For my conference, there's a 15% chargeback when you use the credit card through internal services. I didn't know that originally. So this is the updated price for my conference, including that 15% for internal services.
you know, that started to be a regular thing.
Yeah, if you use a credit card,
If you use a
second.
credit card,
Yeah,
they're
but
charging you.
Internal services is charging our
Well,
department.
don't they charge back though on things? I mean, internal services always.
Like
done
our-
that because
our
there's
internal
been some
services?
complaints
Yes,
about it.
that-
Yeah.
I know we discussed that before. I mean, I understand, but I mean.
What don't I understand?
Yeah.
I'm missing
Well, we
something.
have an issue
Go ahead.
that our own department.
So
is-
internal services, they are not a general fund per se department.
Uh,
So they have to put a percentage on anything that any service they provide to other
Okay.
county departments in order to fund the department.
15%?
Yeah, that's a little.
So that was voted on and approved.
Yeah, it's a resolution from October of 2014, I believe.
No,
Did-
we're not at 2014, or no, 2014.
Yeah,
Okay.
like,
So
So-
we can revisit it.
I think
We
we
talked
need to.
about that, I know.
Yeah.
I know we
have-
have, because that's a little steep.
Yeah.
That's way steep.
That's
That's like about 5 times.
Everyone else charges
Steeper.
2-3%.
Yeah.
But then again,
What is this, just a
understand,
credit card that they
well,
charge?
yeah, but understanding that whatever we reduce this by, we will probably have to make up in her budget.
That's
because-
correct. We would
We're
have to
paying for
offset
it
it with
both
general.
ways, but 14 or 15% saying that we're going to charge ourselves because we used a credit card.
is ridiculous.
Nobody would do business with
But
them.
So it isn't just the credit card use. Shannon has to go through every line on the credit card and she has to balance, right, the credit card with the receipts.
Yeah,
So it's more or less the service charge, not necessarily because you use the credit card. Basically, anything that they work on down there, in my understanding, is that they will charge you a service fee, but that was established years ago. But
Our
again, we
service
can
fee is
revisit it.
for time too. It's not
But
for
that's-
utilization of the
no.
credit card.
That's
No,
correct.
It's
It's
there
for
are multiple
time.
things attached to
The
that.
process.
Yeah.
That's right.
However, 45 minutes or whatever time it takes to
That's
look
correct.
at all the charges.
I know,
And,
it
you know,
just
you can
sounds
imagine.
horrendous,
Yeah,
but-
all
it
the-
sounded, but
all
But
the
like I
things that
said,
have
it sounds
not-
horrendous and I'm like 15%, but again, whatever we offset this for, we
Mhm.
could possibly, we're paying for it one way or
Maybe
another.
yeah.
Yeah, but this also carries through to other departments that are
That's right.
outside
right.
that
That,
utilize that.
yes, they have, there's more than,
Spreads it
more than us using it. It's the work involved for us
Yeah,
using it.
That's
So we're
correct.
actually paying them.
We're paying them to do the work that, gotcha.
Okay.
That sounds a little
Right,
better.
because you've got the health department, they're not general fund, you've got PCDD,
We
they're
have
not
the-
general fund.
the
It's an entire
engineer's
county,
office,
So it's a
all the-
mixture.
All of the, what do they call them? The, like water resources.
Enterprise funds,
Enterprise
yeah.
funds.
Gotcha.
But, okay, do you want me to revisit this and we come up with a different
No.
percentage or you?
No, because now that we explain it, it makes sense. We're gonna pay for it.
If you say 15%, antennas go up all over the place.
And yeah,
But
It's
if
a
we,
service
without,
fee.
15 without explanation, got it.
yeah, okay, so we can approve the resolution.
Board of Commissioners moves to amend Resolution 22-0331 adopted May 19, 2022. Direct a portion of the county's coronavirus local fiscal recovery fund payment to the county's COVID-19 response, authorized in American Rescue Plan Act funds expenditures for COMO1.
Second. Roll call.
Tony?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Yes. Thank you, Ms. Allison.
And I'll be bringing resolutions forward for all of those, to formally adopt those dollar amounts soon, as soon as I get all the info back from Bridger.
Thank you. Morning, Joe. That's going well. What you got?
Further discussion. So how we currently budget for capital improvements and or capital projects is through the general fund. There's no separation between general fund and our capital improvement plan.
Mhm.
So the pros of that is it can be fluid. So like for right now money, for example, we can lower our capital improvements and put more money for general fund. The downside of that is when we run out of money,
You can't.
we are gonna pull from our capital improvements and not leave that alone. So that's the pros and cons of keeping.
It's like restricted. Once you utilize it in that line, is that what you're saying? Put it in that line?
Once we, I mean, in the general fund is not restricted, so we can move it around in time we want, in any way we want. I'm proposing to create a capital projects funds separate from general fund. And then we move all of our approved budget for capital improvements over to this fund. We can't touch it unless we're using it for capital improvements. And then every year, we can do like $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million transfer as budget allows over to that fund.
Yeah.
So that way we always will have money for capital improvements.
Yeah, this is part of our discussion that we had when we were doing budgeting, that we want to set aside at least, I thought we said like 1.5 to 2 million a
Mhm.
year just for capital improvement projects so that we don't get behind like we are.
Right.
And so, but what Joe's saying, by putting it in this specific fund, once it's there, we don't have the ability to take it out. We have, it can only be used for capital improvements, which I think we should do, because no matter what the economy is, if we've got HVAC systems down all over, we can't say to our employees, oh, we're going to close the building until we can find the funds or finance it or whatever. I think it's a very good thing to put in place, considering all the real estate that we are responsible for. And, you know, like I said, we're seeing it now because we've had 3 good years of not really doing a whole lot of capital improvements. And now we're getting hit with not only inflation, but we're getting hit with the cost of supplies and the demand for supplies, that if we would have just did it each year, chipped away at it. So it's actually a cost-effective way to do it. So,
Because we can move the money from the airport over there, we can move money for Greenland Dam over there. And
yeah, because we have what, about 8 million set aside for
Right.
projects that he will put in there. And those are projects we've committed to. So,
Sounds a great idea, Joe.
yeah.
You have to bring the resolution next week?
Yep.
Are you on board with
Yeah,
that?
Sure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
Cool.
Board of Commissioners moves to authorize and execute the supplement to tax increment financing and cooperative agreement.
Wait, where are you at?
Oh, no, I'm, what, wrong place. That's a prosecutor, excuse me.
In accordance.
Board of Commissioners, in accordance with section 305.30K of the Ohio Revised Code, this board's resolution 21-0396 and this board's resolution 21-0878. Board of Commissioners acknowledges and approves the county administrator approval to direct the auditor's office to pay and process the May 26, 2022 bills, ACH payments, wires, journal vouchers, and then and now as applicable and contingent upon the verification of the report as presented by the county auditor and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second.
Roll call?
Tony,
Yes,
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
board moves to process the May 26, 2022 budget amendments as reviewed and recommended by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second.
Roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Resolutions, board moves to create Fund 1117 motorcycle grant.
Second.
Roll call?
Tony,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Board moves to transfer Fund 0001 General Fund to Fund 1410 Public Assistance Fund.
Second.
Roll call?
Tony,
Yes,
Vicky,
Yes.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Thank you.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jill.
And Joanne's not coming in just for the loop.
She's right here.
Is she? Oh. No, she's
Hey,
coming.
Joanne.
She'll probably give a quick update on.
Oh, yeah.
things too.
Good morning.
I just have one little resolution today.
Yeah.
That's it? You don't want to stay longer?
I have the updated.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do those
Or
first.
You want to do those first? Sure.
I got it. Thank you. You got to turn everyone away.
Okay, so the updates this week, down to the administration building, when the red, you see that the flooring is in, and now we're waiting for the code base. The flooring has to cure a little bit more before they put that piece in, but it should all be done here soon, within the next week or so. Prosecutor's window update is a sad state of affairs. It is we're now gonna have to bid it out no matter what. We can't use any kind of emergency. It's way over the bid limit for that kind of thing, so we're going to have to get plans and specs done. Or I'm going to say we need to do both the one side, which is what the original quote came in for, and then we need to just go ahead and proceed with fixing the back ones too. There's no reason to, since we're going out to bid, to split it up, do the whole thing, get it done, and then we're
Done.
hopefully going to be done forever with those windows. It's been a challenging piece for quite a long time for the architectural firm. So I'm working with them to get those bid specs ready and a good construction estimate.
Is architectural firm that we're using the same architectural firm we used to put them in?
No, no, it was
Do they still exist?
the company that put the windows in does not exist now.
What about the architect that did
Yeah,
the
yeah,
design?
yeah.
They do?
Yeah, I mean, when the last architect we used was just to put the top floor on.
Mhm.
That wasn't anything with the window sides.
So that we don't think putting top floor on had anything to do with the leakage that we're getting?
You know, I
Nobody knows.
think that that's what they've always been trying to uncover
Mhm.
by trying to take the pieces and parts down and going from the inside and looking to see if they were sealed correctly or the outside, but it all points back to the original vendor that replaced the windows back in the day. And like I said, they're out of business. Not good for us, but, okay, the, next one was the EOC Center. And I know that you guys got, an update on the cost estimate for that. So I didn't know if you are ready to move forward with that. If you are, then I need to get the architects started on the drawings and so forth. The one thing I'll want to say is that originally their quote contained hiring a construction management firm to take care of how it, gets built. And it's not a big enough project to do that. I think we just have the architect do the extra little piece with our department, how we do. Because it just doesn't make sense to pay the extra for that, I don't think.
Yeah,
So-
we are ready. We just approved, well, we will be approving the funds from ARPA and
Okay.
EOC.
All right, so as long as ARPA doesn't have any kind of bid regulations saying that we can't just have our architect bid it like a normal project, that, we have to do a design build, or we have to have a construction manager or something like that, as long as that doesn't,
Yeah, why don't you get with
Then we're-
Allison? That'll be something Allison will probably want to check with Frederick Eckler
Yeah. We'll find
to
out.
confirm.
and that's all really that I have on the updates for this week. It was, with the holiday, not many people were, I think, working, so
Yeah.
not change. So the first and only resolution I have is, this is Tavern 1888, and it's a renewal of their contract, their lease.
Board of Commissioners moves to authorize execution of a supplement. Oops, I keep going back to that one.
You like
Sorry.
that?
not- apparently so. Board of Commissioners agrees to enter into a real estate lease agreement with BTMIC LLC, Tavern 88, 106 East Main Street, Ravenna, Ohio.
Second. Roll call.
Tony?
Yes,
Yes. Sabrina? Yes.
And
thank you,
then
ma'am.
One last thing, last week, we talked a little bit about retail strategies, and at one point you were gonna use ARPA for that, and then that was
Can't do that.
decided not to. So that you wanted to continue on, so who do you want, I've asked them and received an agreement. It's in the prosecutor's office for their legal review. Who do you want to be the contact person on your side for this? Would it be Michelle or?
Yeah.
Michelle?
Michelle.
Okay, I'll get that put in. All
All
right,
right.
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you.
9:35, we're on schedule. Hi, David.
Hello, how are you?
I've been waiting for you all morning. I've read this
I
3
know,
times already.
Good.
Maple Crest.
Yes, so I guess a few of you remember back in 2018 and earlier, I guess folks were talking about what can be done on the side, and your board authorized the TIF arrangement for a couple of those parcels. And there were a few components to the public improvements that were put in to spur economic development and so forth, that site. And there were a couple components as well to funding those public improvements, one of which was they were determined to be Port Authority improvements, public improvements, and so the Development Finance Authority of Sullivan County was involved, as well as Public Authority. They issued bonds, and so there's this tax increment financing. You'll remember a structure in place for those certain parcels. There's a base value for the parcel before the improvements are made. And then
Yeah.
above that, the increased value from the improvements is exempt from
Yes,
property taxation.
being taxation.
But there's a service payment in lieu of that tax that those property owners pay, which pays down the bond principal over time. There's a 30-year period to do that. I'm not sure where that's at now, whether they're on schedule or through ahead of schedule. I'm not sure about that, but so there was that. There was also funding for that from Menard that went in there, they put down a deposit, which they're getting reimbursed for. And then there, on top of that, there were a number of agreements and documents to put this in place that said the developer
Could be reimbursed
could
once,
be reimbursed.
once the bonds were done, I
Or
thought.
exhausted.
Yeah.
Right, once those funds were exhausted for the balance of that. So that's the purpose of why I was requested to bring this to you
Just
from
a-
the
so-
Developers Council.
Just so that I understand, so the cost of the public improvements have exceeded the proceeds from the bond. So it's sounding like, and then it looks like the bonds are at the end. Is that correct? And that they are looking, they have the ability, once that happens, that they could get reimbursed for the unreimbursed costs, which I'm assuming they want that to pay for the difference in the overruns for the project. Is that what they're looking to do?
Yes.
Okay.
And,
I mean, it makes sense to me. When I was reading this last night, I certainly, it seems like timing was perfect, but that's pretty much what I got from it was, you know, that as you can imagine with the cost of construction, it ran over. And so they can now go for the they call it unreimbursed cost. And I'm assuming they're going to utilize that for the overruns.
yes,
And that was all in our agreement to have the ability to do so. So
Yes.
you just need us to approve the supplement.
so the purpose of the supplement, and I guess I should say, I was told by the developer's attorney that, so you'll see that there's a few items on the exhibit to the supplement, including cost overruns for
Yeah,
culvert
that's
and
a
that sort of thing, as well as extending electric service to the rear of the parcels.
Yeah, I saw there was several items actually. The box culvert payments, the stock costs for the culvert payments, electric, revised quantity. Yeah, I see that. And basically, like I said, the assigned issuer service payments, once the bonds are no longer outstanding, they have the right to get reimbursed for the unreimbursed payments.
Yes, and I should say from the service payments. So
Yes.
to the extent that these properties are paying faster than the normal amortization.
Which is what has been the precedence with this project. They've been paying off faster than anticipated.
So then within that 30-year time period that these properties are exempt, to the extent that there is additional after the bonds principal and interest are paid off,
Yes,
then that money is able to be used, the service payment is able to be used to pay down this.
Pay down the debt, yeah.
unreimbursed.
yeah, unreimbursed
So,
amounts.
but yeah, and you're right, that's only as long as, either
The bonds
either
are-
until it's paid off, well, right.
Are
once the
no
bonds
longer
are paid off,
outstanding.
Once the
Yeah.
bonds are paid off and until this is paid off, or until we hit the 30 years.
Okay, so you just,
And so I was advised that there is additional work because they didn't know, I guess at the time they were doing this, they've still been working on who's going to be populating the properties in the bank, like to the rear of these TIF parcels. So they weren't able to extend gas service. They extended electric service. They haven't been able to extend gas service because the meeting wouldn't give them a quote without knowing
exactly
who
and what was needed back in the back. Okay,
So they are expecting one additional, or they're expecting an additional supplement. 83,650.
yeah, I think I saw that. in the-
For that work. And I don't think that was in anything that I gave you, and I'm not sure.
I'm looking to see, I don't know if it was in the, No, oh, I didn't see that for the gas.
But anyway, so the purpose of entering into the supplement is to establish those amounts
Okay,
so that the trustee, the bank that is that handles the distribution of the service payments and directs those funds where they should go, has the ability to continue to take in that money and direct it to where it needs to go after the bonds are paid off and has the
Yeah.
instruction.
okay. All right, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
All right, Tony?
Can I read that now?
Yes.
Just checking.
You want to read that?
You didn't read it
I quit.
already.
I don't want it anymore. The Board of Commissioners moves to authorize the execution of the supplement to tax increment financing and cooperative agreement.
Second.
Roll call, Tony?
Yes,
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina? Yes.
thank you for coming over.
David, for coming over and explaining that to us.
And I've got them here. I'll give them to Joanne and.
Thanks, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, do you want to take Michelle? We have a public hearing at 10, so we can't move them up. Michelle, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure, of course. I do need to go into executive session under G6.
I'm looking for. Thank you. Gotcha. In accordance with Ohio Revised Code 121.22 G6, Board of Commissioners moves into executive session to discuss details relative to security arrangements and emergency response protocol to a public body.
Second.
Roll call? Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina? Yes. Did you want Joanna?
Do you want Joanne?
No.
Anybody else?
I'm gonna